my name's Lynn and my business is Red Kite Coaching Solutions. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you're going to find this clip of interest to you, and even better if you find it useful. Today's subject matter is the guilt trip. I don't know about you, but I've had plenty in my lifetime, and only this week yet another that I wasn't actually paying my dog of all people, of all things, enough attention and not taking them out quite as much as I should due to the cold weather. Anyway, this video is going to come in a couple of sections. First of all, we're going to look at the sources of a guilt trip. Then I'm going to provide you with a definition of what it actually is. And then, as ever, trying to think about a solution so that we all go around feeling less guilty and a bit more inspired. So the sources of a guilt trip are all around us. First of all, we have the politicians lambasting us in one breath, saying we shouldn't leave our children with childminders all day. We should be the source of inspiration, for which we get a guilt trip. And yet in the other, telling us we need to be out to work and earning and not staying on benefits. And actually that can cause yet another guilt trip if you're not able to fit that mould either. Next, you move on to society in general, and society tells us that breast is best, and we feel guilty if we can't achieve that. Or they're telling us, you know, we should be actually doing something quite different, and this is the current trend, etc, etc, etc. Or you should be a family with 2.4 children. What if you are? What if you're not? Either way, you're probably going to end up in a guilt trip. Then you move down a layer onto your friends, and if you have family, your friends are going to be moaning at you. Oh, you never spend as much time as me as you used to, and then you're going to feel guilty because you're not paying your friends enough attention. Then you move on to your family, and your family will start moaning that you've got a dishwasher, and back in their day that they used to have to do it all by hand. Or aren't you lucky because you've got all this and all of that, and they had to wait for everything before they had it. And then you move on to your children yourselves, who then go on to say, oh, you like me less than you do him, and, you know, you never let me get away with that. It's coming from all sides, thick and fast. Either which way, for good or for bad, indifferent or for worse, you are going to have a guilt trip, or so it would seem. Anyway, let's have a little look at the definition of a guilt trip. I've written it here, so excuse me just a moment. It says an experience or feeling guilty about something when such guilt is self-indulgent, here, there's the thing, or unjustified. Take a look at all of those previous examples and ask yourself, were they justified? That's the first thing, and I bet my bottom dollar that most of them, in fact probably all of them, actually aren't. All of us do what we can while we're doing it to the best of our ability, or at least that's the general consensus when you talk to people. And how about the other thing, the self-indulgent? Part of our guilt trips are because we want things to be perfect. You know what? Life isn't perfect. How about striving for good enough sometimes and being happy with that? I mean, I can remember back in the day when I was thinking to myself, when I have children, you know, I'm going to use terry nappies, I'm going to cook all my own food, always, never ever going to open a jar, I'm certainly not going to let them watch TV. And guess what? I held out with terries and nappies for 2 changes of nappy. I did cook foods for a couple of days, and then I was, you know, any which way because I was so tired. And then on to the third one, with no TV in the bedroom. You know what? That worked wonders for my lad who had ADHD and helped him get off to sleep perfectly. Did anybody die in the process? No, they didn't. Equally, the biggest single thing to remember is that these guilt trips play into your insecurities. How about remembering what a wonderful person you actually are? How about thinking about how much others think of you? Instead of thinking, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that. You have so much to offer. You are an incredible person. Go out and sparkle, and let's see you talk to me tomorrow, or tune in and actually be sitting in front of me, smiling, knowing that you are a beautiful, beautiful person. Anyway, if you like this, please get in touch. If you've got a topic you'd like me to cover, equally, I'd love to hear from you. Bye-bye for now.